What's good with you guys? Coach Israel Hughes here, giving you guys tips on how to identify defensive formations and coverage responsibilities of the guys on the back end. And the way we're going to do that is by establishing a 3-point pre-snap read routine. The first point of this routine is by one, identifying the roof of the coverage. You may say, hey coach, what's the roof of the coverage? Well, it's the top of the coverage. The top, roof, the top. You're going to identify how many safeties you see. And based on the example given, we see there are 2 safeties, which means they are either in cover 2 or in cover 4. For the sake of this example, we're going to say cover 4. The next step number 2, is identifying the corners of the room. The corner in front of me, his alignment is about 7 or 8 yards off, a yard inside. I'm looking at the other side of the room, the other corner. He's matching, except he's a yard outside. It definitely shows, based on alignment, it's looking like cover 4. The third point is identifying the backers, where their alignment is. I see both of them, the Sam and the Will, are both pressing the line of scrimmage as if to get involved in the run. Definitely looking like cover 4. Snap of the pass, they get up out of there. Now, based on our pre-snap read routine, we are confident that these guys are going to be in cover 4. Disclaimer, this is a pre-snap routine, which means that the snap of the ball, they could jump to a whole nother coverage. Everything could change. But we'll get to that in a later video. Now, what I'm going to do now is to get into the zones, the areas that everybody is responsible for. Obviously, I'm drawing squares to represent each person's responsibility, and the names, the terminology, so we'll know what we have. The outside backers are responsible for buzzing the flats in cover 4. The reason why it's called a buzz, because those guys, when they identify that it's pass, they got to get their butts out of there. They got to haul tail getting up out of there. We ain't going to be there to wait for them, baby. We're going to get active. The middle backer has middle hook curls. Mid hook curls. Depending on the terminology of the coach. Some coaches call it curls, some of them call it hooks, which is fine. 4 guys share deep responsibility. Now, because 4 guys have to divide the deep end, we have deep quarters. Everybody get a 4th. Deep quarters. Now, when you guys looking at this, I want you guys to look at some of the openings in the coverage. And I'm going to draw small X's that represent those openings. And I'm also draw big squares that represents the real big weaknesses of the coverage. So with both outside backers hightailing out of there getting to the flats, that's an opening. That's an opening. That middle linebacker is getting to his middle hook curl. There's an opening where he is. They just left this whole middle open for us, giving us love. Now, because these guys have to buzz the flats, that means there's a vacancy here till they get there. So the flats are another weakness of the coverage. Coach, man, you just said your guys gonna be in the flats. 100% I did. But as I said, they pressing the line of scrimmage. The time it take for them to get out there, we are already into our routes, getting active, getting busy. Now, this also, the post dig, is also another weakness of the coverage. Let me label those. So you have the flats, the blue is the weakness, flats, and you have the post dig, the post and the dig area. Now, while you guys looking at that, you're looking at the weakness of the coverages, I want you to think of different route concepts that you guys run or have ran that you know are successful against this defense. And I'm gonna jot down a few of the route concepts. We're gonna do post dig with a wheel on the back side, on the front side, I'm sorry. And on the back side, we're just gonna do a go drag. So what that's gonna look like, outside guy has a post, inside guy has a dig, and the running back has a wheel up the sideline. And I'm gonna go over all that in just a minute. Outside guy here has a go, and this guy here, he has a drag straight across. Now, receivers, we have 2 rules. In zone, you sit your route down. Sit down. In man, you just run. You keep running. And I'm explaining what I mean by that. Just a second. So the responsibility of this cornerback right here, he has to stay on top of this post route. He has to stay on top of the post route. And this safety is supposed to rob this post. And when this safety rob this post and drift back, this slot guy should be open for the dig. Now, because we sit our routes down, we don't keep running. We see this middle linebacker right there. When we go into our dig, we're not going to run into there and get bung bung. So we're going to sit right here, find an opening, and just take what we can get. Now, if this safety decides to come down and play this dig, we'll let the band play. That's going to be touchdown all day. Now, let's say they play it perfectly. The safety, Rob, if he come down, the safety can come down on the dig and the cornerback can stay on top of that post route. Well, that's going to force this Sam right here to try to carry that wheel. That's a mismatch all day. Let the band play. Now, we coming on the backside. We just got to go, to challenge the cornerback right there and have this free safety that I can for the free safety, expecting the post trying to rob to get him away from that dig. But underneath, because we have so much vacancy up on here, all we're going to do is just drag. You don't have to run across. You can sit your route down and just get paid, baby. So I want you guys to look at that. Think about how you can be effective against that coverage, the different route concepts, and there are a variety of route concepts that can defeat this coverage. So we can always stay open and never covered, baby, yeah.